This is our news, the weekend edition, and on the broadcast tonight. Nurses respond to the Public Hospital Authority's new shift system. Plus, spreading the message of conservation. The National Trust teams up with the Guy Harvey Foundation. And a local fraternity giving a little for a good cause.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Knowles, and thanks so much for joining us. The Bahamas Nurses Union is not satisfied with the new 8-hour shift system that's expected to be implemented on December 10th. In fact, Nurses Union President Amantia Williams calls it insulting. Williams told the Nassau Guardian that the union is not in agreement with the shift change, adding that it is not better than the present shift system. The Public Hospitals Authority announced the new shift system on Wednesday. PHA Managing Director Catherine Weish says the new shift system will eliminate issues caused by the 4 nights on, 4 nights off system, which resulted in night duty nurses working 157 days per year on average, compared to the 234 worked by all other nurses. She adds that the new shift system establishes a 40-hour work week and an 8-hour daily shift as opposed to the current 10-hour shift for night duty nurses. Weish revealed that the PHA agreed with the Bahamas Nurses Union to pay all nurses scheduled to work between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. an amount of $1.75 per hour in addition to their standard base hourly pay. But Williams says nurses are too qualified to accept the PHA's offer. We understand the union was scheduled last night to meet to discuss the way forward. Well, Progressive Liberal Party Senator Dr. Michael Darville has said the proposed 2% payroll tax to fund national health insurance would be an additional burden on the Bahamian people given the country's current economic state. According to a policy paper released by the National Insurance Authority this week, employees would pay 2% of their salary to a maximum of $42 per month, with the employer paying the remainder of the premium. The revamped NHI would cost taxpayers $100 million a year, according to Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands. Darville says the administration should have followed the blueprint left by the Progressive Liberal Party administration with regard to NHI. He asserted the FNM is now withering by offering a 45-day further consultation period to complete what has already been done and planned. Darville added that under the PLP, the fee structure for national health insurance would have been rolled out as the economy was able to withstand the shocks. Now he says the costs have risen exponentially. The policy paper outlines the new proposed framework for an expanded NHI. The authority calculated that the annual cost per person for basic universal health care coverage is an estimated $1,000 per year. Well, the Bahamas Public Service Union will soon be presenting a new industrial agreement to the Department of Public Service as their current agreement has expired. BPSU President Kimsley Ferguson said the new agreement will contain revised salary increases.
We want to cause our members to rest assured that in the face of a 12% VAT increase, we are hopeful that the government would give consideration to the various increases in the cost of living. We'd have done our due diligence and we would have looked at the various cost of living increases over the past 15 years and the fact that salaries remained at the various positions that they were at without any increases. And so with that view in mind, we are going to present what we are going to present to the government with the hope that we are able to cause our members to have some additional funding in their salary where they can actually live affordably.
From the overnight crime beat, a teen is fighting for his life in hospital tonight after he was reportedly shot multiple times. Police say it was shortly after 8 p.m. Friday when the juvenile along with another male were riding on a scooter on Hospital Lane. That's when police say a gunman opened fire in their direction, hitting the boy several times. The suspect then fled the scene, We're told the victim was transported to hospital where he is listed in serious condition. As for the second male, he was not injured in the incident. Investigations are ongoing. And police need your help in locating several wanted people. The Financial Crime Unit is looking for Anastasia Moore of McKinney Drive and Montel Heights. The 39-year-old is wanted for fraud. She is described to be of brown complexion, stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, and average build. Also wanted in connection to fraud is 37-year-old Louis of Union Village. Louis stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, is of average build and dark brown complexion. Then there's 45-year-old Solomon Young of St. Albans Drive. He is wanted for stealing. Young is described to be of medium brown complexion, standing 6 feet 2 inches tall and of medium build. Now, if you have any information that can assist police in locating any of these suspects, you're asked to contact the Central Detective Unit at 502-9991 or 502-9910. In other news this evening, protecting the seas, that's the aim of the Guy Harvey Foundation. This week, the foundation's chairman spoke to our Jillian Gray and shared more about how they propose to make a difference in the Bahamas and around the world. Here's her report.
The wonderful world of the deep blue sea. As an archipelagic nation, the Bahamas is surrounded by beautiful treasures that lay just below pristine blue waters. While many depend on the waters for their livelihood, few know how to protect the jewels of the sea. With that in mind, the Bahamas National Trust, along with the Guy Harvey Foundation, hosted over 100 children this week to teach students how to preserve marine life. The hope is that this knowledge will foster a more sustainable future for the environment.
Most of these schools are where we host our discovery clubs, and this is all about education. It's wonderful to have Dr. Guy Harvey and Jessica and everyone else here, because you gotta, we do all this science and we talk about all this conservation, but you really have to bring it down to the level of young people. And that's what we try and do through our discovery clubs, which is to instill at a very early age the principles of conservation.
Chairman Guy Harvey said marine protection is very important and education is the key.
The Bahamas is off to a very good start, partially because the BNT is so active, both in research and conservation, as well as education. But also, your kids, they really get it. From our last visit with Queen's College next door and the kids who came here today, they know a lot more than any other of the other Caribbean kids with whom we've dealt. So you're off to a great start. The problem is that overexploitation of particularly coral reef resources has been prevalent throughout the Caribbean. And it's time now to turn the table, so to speak. And we can do that through marine parks and enforcing protections and enforcing good laws, sensible laws based on science.
Stingrays and swimming pigs have become part of the million-dollar tourism landscape of the Bahamas. Harvey's daughter Jessica said it's important for everyone to understand what impact they are having on the environment. She's stationed in the Cayman Islands and said the work happening there to replenish the Nassau grouper population is an important project for the Bahamas to adopt.
One of the projects that we actually showed the kids today was the Nassau Grouper project that the Department of Environment in the Cayman Islands with Reef and a few other universities they're associated to have done an incredible job studying the Nassau groupers over 15 years, and they are bringing the population of Nassau groupers back. It was heavily depleted in 2001-2002 when a significant number of Nassau groupers were wiped out at this one site, and that protection is working. The population is bouncing back. Several people, including Sir Richard Branson, came over to investigate it for himself, and it's working. And so other countries like the Bahamas can easily speak to them and see how they can implement such a good management strategy for their own islands.
The Guy Harvey Foundation partnered with Norwegian Cruise Line and Nova Southeastern University to hit the high seas with the message of conservation. Along with protecting the Nassau grouper, Dr. David Gillum said it's also important to protect the place where they live. He's working with a team in Great Stirrup Key to grow and replenish coral reefs.
What we've been working on is we're starting a coral nursery, working with staghorn coral and elkhorn coral, which are two very important corals throughout the Caribbean, but especially here in the Bahamas. And we're growing these corals in these nurseries that we're managing, and then with the hope of after these corals grow, we can outplant them back onto the reef and help these particular species recover. But through these species recovering, the entire coral reef community can recover as well. And I think that's a very important partnership with the Norwegian Cruise Lines, and it's going to be very important for the local coral reefs as well. So we're very pleased to be a part of that.
With thousands of passengers boarding their ships annually, Norwegian Cruise Line opted to lessen their impact on the environment by joining the Trash-Free Seas Alliance. This move is a major step in the fight against single plastic waste. Morgan McCall from Norwegian Cruises said they have banned the use of single plastic straws on all ships and private destinations, including those here in the Bahamas.
We did just successfully ban all plastic straws from our ships and also our private destination. So that's Great Stirrup Cay is here in the Bahamas, in the Berry Islands. So that going over very well. And we have a destination in Belize called Harvest Cay, and so that one they also banned plastic straws, and they're leading the way and kind of setting an example for us in the shoreside office. Harvest Cay has been able to eliminate more single-use plastics on board and guest or on the island in guest areas. So we're able to learn from what they've implemented so far and hopefully continue to remove more plastics from on board our vessels.
The Guy Harvey Foundation and its partners hope to continue to spread the message of ocean conservation as they sail the seas over the next few weeks. Reporting for Our News Weekend, I'm Jillian Gray.
All right, thanks a lot, Jillian. Well, that brings us to our first break, but still ahead tonight. One local fraternity leading the charge to help PMH's blood bank. That story and more when Our News returns.